Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual Pro Bono reception. I'm Rob Ernie, the 130th president of the Columbus Bar Association. Let me be the first to congratulate our 5 Pro Bono Award recipients for 2020. They are truly extraordinary human beings who believe in service to others and service above self. They represent everything that is good today with our legal community, and they are an inspiration to all of us. So congratulations and thank you for your example. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your passion for helping others. You truly inspire all of us. At this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Justice Judy French. Justice French became a justice of the Supreme Court of Ohio in January 2013 and was elected to her first full term in 2014. With a history of public service, a passion for equal justice, and a special interest in civic education, Justice French is committed to serving as a resource for the people of Ohio. In 2004, Justice French was elected as a judge on the 10th District Court of Appeals. She served in that role for 8 years and authored more than 800 legal opinions. Justice French is a strong advocate for access to justice and understands the gap between the need for access to justice and the resources available to those who cannot afford a lawyer. Today, Justice French works with the Ohio Access to Justice Foundation and legal aid organizations across the state. Justice French advocates for changes and programs that will ensure access to justice for all Ohioans. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Justice Judy French.
Well, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that introduction, and thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Chief Justice O'Connor, and the entire Ohio Supreme Court. I am so very grateful for your interest in legal aid and for the efforts that you make toward pro bono work. Wherever I go around the state of Ohio, I'm amazed at what the legal community is doing. They are the leaders in every community that I go into, and the efforts and the knowledge of the legal community is no more evident than in the area of legal aid and pro bono work. To the award winners, I want to say congratulations to you. My suspicion is that those of you getting an award tonight are probably not the kind that like to talk about getting awards, and you certainly don't do what you do in order to be awarded. But I hope that you will let us congratulate you and pour some accolades on you for your work. Through your work, you are role models, and you really lift up the good work that lawyers can do. And so I hope you'll let us spoil you just a bit and let you know how much we appreciate what you do on behalf of the entire legal community and the entire state of Ohio. You know, I'm really proud of the reforms that we've been able to make over the last 8 years or so at the Ohio Supreme Court. I think what, in partnership with the Access to Justice Task Force, with the Ohio Access to Justice Foundation, with the bar associations, with the legal aid organizations, we've really made a number of reforms that have brought more attention, more money to the needs of underserved populations. We've been able to attract more lawyers and I think more service to those needs of the underserved populations. But there is more work to do. Just when we think we've got a handle on one thing, or we make a change to one rule, a pandemic comes along and just upends a lot of the things that we had been focused on. New technologies, maybe as a result of that same pandemic, come along and now present new challenges for us. So there's always going to be something new and different come along that makes us rethink what we're doing and creates a need for new innovations and new creativity. And that's really where all of you come into play. Not only the good work that you're doing, but also you're right there in the trenches. And I hope you see just how valuable that knowledge is, that maybe there's a better way to do this. Maybe there's a better way to serve underserved populations. Maybe there's a way to avoid the very legal problem we have to address again and again. And so I hope as you're doing this good work, you realize the resource that you are, not just to provide this service, but to let everybody know how we could probably be doing this better. There's always another way. There's always a new challenge coming along. So whether it's creating a justice bus or starting a podcast or just doing something different that we think is better, I hope you know that that information is very valuable. And I hope you will pass it along so that we can continue to make these really practical changes, some of the small ones and also some of the larger ones. One of the things that I'm proudest of is something very, not something that takes a significant amount of effort, but I happened to be in a conversation with a brand new lawyer, and we were talking about the information that she was getting as a new lawyer, lots of forms, lots of brochures, and not one thing about providing pro bono service or about volunteering. And so now I send a letter to every new lawyer who becomes admitted to the Ohio bar. A really small thing, but it's because of one young lawyer who said, you know what, I think I'd like to have that kind of information in the packet of information that I got when I became a new lawyer. So whatever it is that you see that we could solve differently, I hope you'll bring that idea to my attention and to others so that we can do this better. But more than anything, I hope you feel the gratitude. I hope you feel the admiration from around the state. I think when I started my legal career more than 30 years ago now, I think that there has been, as I look back on that career, I think there's been a real change in the way that we see legal aid lawyers. And I think that they are being recognized for the incredible work that they do and the talent that they have. And yet with all of that talent, they choose to serve the public. So for those in legal aid organizations, for those outside the legal aid organizations doing work pro bono, thank you. Thank you on behalf of the Ohio Supreme Court. I admire you. And I'm so proud to be a part of this effort to say congratulations. Thanks everybody for having me.
All right, thank you, Justice French. We appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Linville, and I am an attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. And I am here tonight with bankruptcy judge John Hoffman. And we are here to take a minute and recognize Brenda Bowers. The Columbus legal community lost a great friend this year when Brenda Bowers passed away in March after a tough battle with cancer. We wanted to take a few minutes tonight to recognize her significant contributions to the Legal Aid Society of Columbus's bankruptcy pro bono program. I began working on the implementation of the bankruptcy pro bono project in early 2012, and throughout my entire career, Brenda was a steadfast supporter of legal aid's work. On behalf of Legal Aid and all of the clients we have helped receive a fresh start and peace of mind, I wanted to express my profound gratitude for her dedication. I heard Brenda described in the following way and couldn't help but agree. She was a quiet force, but a powerful one. I'm now going to turn it over to Judge John Hoffman, current bankruptcy judge for the Southern District of Ohio, and the one who intelligently recruited Brenda over to our cause in the very beginning. Judge Hoffman?
Thank you, Melissa, and thanks for the invitation to make some brief remarks this evening. With the coronavirus that's been sweeping the world in 2020, this year has been a time of great loss and mourning for our country. And unfortunately, 2020 has also been a season of loss for our bankruptcy bar. We've seen the deaths, not of COVID-19, fortunately, of Fred Looper, one of the deans of our bankruptcy bar, and also of Yvette Cox, one of my former law partners. But I think that by far the most tragic loss for the bankruptcy community this year has been the passing of Brenda Bowers. And that's because when Brenda lost her battle to cancer last March, she was still very much in the prime of her legal career and in the prime of her life. Brenda was a highly respected bankruptcy attorney at the Vorey, Sater, Seymour and Pease law firm, a Chapter 7 trustee, and a former law clerk for my colleague, Don Calhoun. And I could go on at great length about Brenda's skills and her many accomplishments as a bankruptcy lawyer. She was a forceful and skilled advocate, and yet when she litigated a matter, Brenda always did so in a collegial way. As the expression goes, Brenda could disagree without being disagreeable. Brenda Bowers was a model of diligence, of integrity, of professionalism, the type of lawyer that our new members of the bar would do very well to emulate. Right now, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals is in the process of filling a vacancy on our Columbus Bankruptcy Court. And over the years, I had the chance to chat with Brenda from time to time about her judicial aspirations. And I have no doubt that Brenda would be a leading contender for a seat on our court right now if she were still with us. Again, I could go on and on about Brenda's sterling legal career, but the reason we're celebrating her life this evening and honoring her is because of her tremendous commitment to the cause of pro bono in our community, and specifically Brenda's tireless devotion to the Legal Aid Society of Columbus Bankruptcy Pro Bono Program. The Bankruptcy Pro Bono Program got its start in 2012 when the OSBA partnered with the Ohio Legal Assistance Foundation, now the Ohio Access to Justice Foundation, to create and support the Appellate District Pro Bono Project. Through this project, committees of judges and lawyers would work to promote pro bono legal services for low-income people in each of Ohio's 12 appellate districts. The driving force behind the creation of the Appellate District Pro Bono Project was the late Chief Justice Thomas Moyer. And my good friend, Judge Bill Klatt, headed the 10th Appellate District's Pro Bono Committee. Recognizing that there was a great need for, unmet need for pro bono legal services in the bankruptcy world and in the bankruptcy community in Central Ohio, Judge Klatt asked me to join the committee to put together an initiative to address this need. And I, in turn, worked with our bankruptcy bar to form a pro bono committee to get the project off the ground. In starting a new pro bono program, I knew how vital it would be to get buy-in from the bankruptcy bar. And I felt we could accomplish it if I had the right committee members working with me to achieve our goal. What I was looking for in committee members was committee members who were hardworking, who would follow through once they made a commitment, who were well respected and well liked by their colleagues in the bankruptcy bar, and most importantly, who had a passion for justice. Knowing the type of person that Brenda Bowers was, I knew that she checked each one of these boxes. So Brenda was one of the very first members of our bar that I reached out to. And I was thankful, but not at all surprised when she agreed to come on board. Although I had very high expectations of Brenda when I asked her to join the pro bono committee, she exceeded them in every possible way. From our first committee meeting through the time of her passing last spring, I don't believe that Brenda missed a single committee meeting, even as she was going through intensive chemotherapy. Her devotion to the cause was inspiring to all of us. And Brenda was almost single-handedly responsible for the success of our bankruptcy bypass program. She personally recruited her fellow members of the business bankruptcy bar to assist at the bypass clinics that are held at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus's offices every other month. Through their efforts and the efforts of law student volunteers, well over 400 pro bono clients, mainly senior citizens, have received assistance with their financial difficulties without having to seek bankruptcy protection. And I believe that one of the main reasons that our business bankruptcy bar so willingly embraced this part of our program was the tremendous respect and affection that they had for Brenda. But Brenda wasn't just a recruiter. She also attended a number of bypass clinics. Several times a year, she would work late into the evening at the Columbus Legal Aid Society offices after a full day at work at the Voorhees firm. The photo that you see on the screen that Melissa chose to display in the middle of the screen shows Brenda at a Fresh Start Gala, an event that we hold every year at the Porter Wright Law Firm to raise funds for the bankruptcy pro bono program. In addition to her many other contributions to the program, Brenda played a pivotal role in the success of our Fresh Start Galas. She served on the very first Fresh Start Gala committee in 2016 and continued to serve on that committee through 2018. Looking back now, I am amazed by and very, very proud of our bankruptcy bar for the way they so willingly embraced our pro bono program and have made it a very great success. Through their efforts, we are approaching nearly 1,000 pro bono clients who have been served in one way or another by our program. And with the possible exception of Melissa Linville, I don't believe there is any member of our bar who's made a greater contribution to the success of the program than Brenda Bowers. So please join me in extending our deepest sympathies to Brenda's wife, Susan. I know that I speak for my fellow judges in the Southern District of Ohio and the entire bankruptcy community when I say how grateful I am to have called Brenda a friend and colleague. And I'm also grateful for her tireless work on behalf of the neediest members of our community. And now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of Brenda's memory and in gratitude for her wonderful and her very impactful life. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa and Judge Hoffman. My name is Kayla Callahan, and I'm the Pro Bono Coordinator and Staff Attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. I want to start by thanking everyone here today who's contributed to the work of the Ohio State Legal Services Association in serving low-income individuals in Southeastern and Central Ohio. Prior to becoming the Pro Bono Coordinator for the Legal Aid Society of Columbus this past December, I knew of the great things that our volunteers were doing, but it has truly been an honor to work with you all, albeit virtually, during this time. We are grateful for the strong partnership with the greater legal community, and we are overjoyed to be able to present the awards today and offer a bright spot in the week. Our pro bono program has had to make some significant changes at the beginning of the pandemic to alter the manner in which we provide our services. To ensure that low-income individuals still access legal help and advice during the COVID-19 crisis, we created a new virtual clinic model, which engages our volunteer lawyers in phone advice clinics. We offer virtual brief advice clinics the same evening they would normally be held in the community. And in direct response to the unemployment compensation program expansion, we also launched a special unemployment compensation virtual clinic to organize volunteers to help individuals who are struggling to apply for unemployment compensation. Our remote clean slate clinic allows volunteers to provide record sealing and CQE assistance to clients without having in-person contact. Thanks to a partnership with the Ohio Justice Bus, we also now have a new process for the Senior Referral Project, which allows volunteers to assist clients drafting and executing wills and powers of attorney without having in-person meetings with the clients. We've referred 501 cases and counting, since there are clients this week, through our general brief advice and UC clinics. We serve hundreds of clients at our first virtual clean slate clinic, thanks to the efforts of our staff, volunteer lawyers, and volunteer law students. Old volunteers have stepped up and new ones have jumped in, many making extra efforts to help meet the need. Those are numbers that everyone here can be proud of. You continue to step up and help legal aid to shrink the justice gap for low-income people during the crisis. A quote from Fred Rogers seems to be very fitting for what we've seen during the pandemic. It reads, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Today, we are not only here to celebrate the efforts of the whole community, but also to celebrate the efforts of 5 individuals in particular who charged forward to contribute their time and talents. Each award recipient will be introduced by someone who has a connection to their service, and each recipient will be given an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Virgin, and I am the Community Engagement and Reentry Paralegal for the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. I am thrilled to be here this evening to present the 2020 Pro Bono Support Award to Ms. Deborah Crawford for her efforts with our unemployment compensation virtual clinic. I am thrilled to present this award to Deborah because in these unprecedented times, she has been willing to give her time to our clients to help them navigate what could be a lengthy and complicated system. Early this year, and in response to the influx of COVID-19 related unemployment issues we were seeing in our client community, Legal Aid started a daily unemployment compensation virtual clinic, which matched individuals struggling to apply for benefits with volunteers who were willing to navigate the system with and for them. This was a new project that we had developed in just weeks, knowing that there was more need than we could handle on our own, and knowing that many in the community wanted to help. Deborah applied to volunteer early in the process and quickly became one of our most reliable and invested volunteers, running towards the crisis and not from it. No matter how complicated the case was, Deborah was and is always willing to help. She acknowledges how pro bono programs can make a difference in the lives of low-income clients. She states, "People are so confused right now, especially when the systems designed to help them require using technology, or the systems themselves have bugs. They are not user-friendly or even logical. Helping people understand the rights and evictions, helping a family apply for the needed assistance, helping an employee get a fair shake from an employer that's not following the rules. All these supports can not only help low-income clients survive, but possibly go on to thrive. If the program can stop or delay one domino from falling, there is a chance a family or person will make it through their challenges." To that I say, Deborah, with assistance like yours, you are helping our program delay or stop that domino from falling. Deborah also sees her role working with the Unemployment Project as a way to give back during the COVID crisis. She also states, "So many issues need attention and reform, but COVID-19 has brought a whole new dimension of challenges. I want to be able to say, I did what I could and contributed, and this opportunity was one avenue for me." Ms. Deborah, I can definitely say that you have contributed a great deal to helping individuals with the challenges they face during these times. We thank you so much for all you have done for our clients in our program, and we hope that you accept this award as a token of our gratitude to you.
Thank you so much, Tracy, and I want to thank Legal Aid. It was a pleasure. You gave me an opportunity to help virtually, which was wonderful. It was great meeting some of these clients over the phone. I mean, when you spend 2 and 3 hours with somebody on the phone trying to figure out the unemployment application, you get pretty tight with them. And it was really a pleasure. It was a comfort to me because in the beginning of the pandemic, it was a way for me to help. So I think it really benefited me probably more than it did the clients. And so I'm so touched by this award. It was a pleasure working with you and Diana. So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone who does this pro bono work. I'm not an attorney, you all are, and I just really appreciate you. It's so important. Thank you for what you do.
Congratulations, Deborah. Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Parker, and I am Director of Pro Bono and Community Engagement for Ohio State Legal Services Association. I am thrilled to present our next award for law firm or corporate pro bono to a great attorney, a reliable volunteer, and a wonderful human, Keisha Wormsby. Keisha holds her JD from Ohio Northern and has been practicing in Columbus since 2010. As a relatively new attorney at Bricker and Eckler, Keisha took her first pro bono referral from our Volunteer Resource Center Consumer Project in 2013. This particular project matches volunteer attorneys with clients facing lawsuits filed by debt buyer plaintiffs. Keisha recalls one of her first clients, a woman whose credit card was maxed out by a former partner. An action was brought by a third-party debt collector who held no proof of the debt for which they were suing. By the time the client figured it out, she was on the hook for thousands of dollars. She was working many hours and incredibly stressed out over the situation. Fortunately, Keisha was able to obtain an early dismissal of the entire action. Keisha recalls the relief and appreciation in that client's voice after hearing the good news that she wouldn't have a debt totaling thousands of dollars encumbering her. Since 2013 and through an eventual transition to Baker Hostetler, Keisha has maintained her commitment to LASC and the Consumer Project, accepting case after case when called upon. In March, she stepped up to help us with our virtual advice clinics, offering her consumer law knowledge to frightened clients who were navigating the new and terrifying world that the COVID had created in just days and weeks. Keisha does all of this under the radar, not asking for acknowledgement or praise. She recently joined JP Morgan Chase, where she is now VP and Assistant General Counsel and advises the home lending line of business on regulatory mortgage lending issues. When attorneys change employers, I sometimes fear that they may not be able to maintain their pro bono work as much as they had done previously. But in her case, I have no doubt that we will continue to hear from her as she joins a legal department that has shown time and again its commitment to pro bono for years now. What I know about Keisha, and what I'd imagine everyone who works with her knows, is that she is genuinely kind. She treats people with patience and respect, and she holds herself to incredibly high standards. When Keisha accepts a pro bono case, there is no doubt she will approach it with attention, thoroughness, and diligence. Despite the obvious demands of her job, she ensures that the low-income clients she represents or advises feel heard and understood. What I also know about Keisha is that her generous spirit means that she often deflects attention away from herself and onto others around her. So it is actually for that reason, above all else, that I am most excited to honor her, to showcase her contributions, and to give her the attention she truly deserves. So I am proud to acknowledge and virtually present this year's Law Firm Corporate Pro Bono Award to my friend, Keisha Wormsby.
Thank you, Diana. I really appreciate the kind words, and it's an honor to be here with you and everyone else on the call virtually. I'm humbled to be a recipient of the Corporate Firm Pro Bono Award. The Legal Aid Society of Columbus performs such critical work in this community by serving low-income clients, and they understand that justice should be accessible to everybody, regardless of income, race, ethnicity, and other factors. We're living through unprecedented times, and more than ever, access to justice and information about legal rights remains important to members of our community. Information about access to unemployment benefits, tenant rights, even debtor rights can make all the difference to a family that is struggling. And so it is with great humility and appreciation that I'm thankful to be a part and support an organization like the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. Under Diana's leadership and her team of committed attorneys, professionals, support staff, and volunteers, they've been at the forefront of emerging issues like developing the virtual clinic and ensuring that clients continue to have access to resources and information that they need. I hope that you all will continue to support the Legal Aid Society of Columbus in whatever capacity you can to further their important mission. I thank you all, and I will cherish this award for years to come. Thank you.
All right, good evening. I'm Joe Tsushima. I'm an attorney with the Legal Aid Society of Columbus and help to run the Tenant Advocacy Project, our legal clinic that provides legal advice and representation to tenants facing eviction. And we are proud to announce today that Maxim Peril is the recipient of our 2020 In the Trenches Award. This award is in recognition of Maxim's participation in various virtual clinics and his active work with the Tenant Advocacy Project during the COVID-19 pandemic. Maxim graduated from The Ohio State University Moritz College of Law in 2018. Following law school, he got his start working as a compliance officer and a project attorney for various projects. He also served as a volunteer with the Sierra Club of Ohio, an environmental organization. In April, right when COVID was starting, Maxim started getting involved with legal aid through our virtual clinic program. He was seeking an opportunity to serve as a client advocate and to offer legal help to people over the phone. When he learned in June that eviction courts were reopening in person, he knew that pro bono attorneys would be needed to help tenants facing evictions. So instead of staying at home, he doubled down and he began volunteering for TAP. Working as a pro bono attorney for the Tenant Advocacy Project was Maxim's first experience representing clients in court. And he is grateful knowing that he can use his legal training to help people in such a way that is direct and tangible. Maxim says that people facing eviction in the midst of a pandemic are in a dire situation, and I knew I had to help, and he has certainly demonstrated that. James Mackey, another one of our legal aid attorneys over at TAP, describes Maxim's commitment. He has been a dedicated volunteer, coming to the TAP clinic at least once a week, despite concerns about the pandemic. He has been willing to jump into difficult cases with aggressive opposing counsel, and has always maintained a professional and compassionate manner with the clients that he serves. Something I would add is that Maxim has always been very consistent with his volunteering and has always been very dedicated to the service that we provide. He has always been very understanding towards our clients, especially when they're going through a lot of distress. In his spare time, Maxim likes to read, and like many others during the pandemic, he has also picked up baking. He has adopted a calico cat, and they are good friends during this pandemic. With that, congratulations, Maxim.
Thank you very much. I really can't emphasize enough how humbled and honored I am to receive this award. It caught me totally by surprise. I want to thank the Legal Aid Society for this honor and for giving me the opportunity to volunteer and participate in the Tenant Advocacy Program. I want to thank Diana Parker for welcoming and guiding me through the Pro Bono program. It's been a pleasure working to serve these tenants in need through such an unprecedented and difficult time. Legal Aid is such a wonderful organization that has helped so many people navigate our complex legal system throughout its years. And it's an honor to be able to participate in that great work. I also want to thank the other award winners for their hard work and wonderful contributions to the community. In addition, I want to thank the senior attorneys and paralegal I regularly work with, Joshu, James, and Nancy Foreman, for their friendliness and guidance in transitioning me into the advocacy, into TAP's unique work environment. I also want to thank Melissa Benson and all the attorneys at TAP that I regularly work with at the housing team for being so friendly and welcoming to me. And obviously, I want to thank my parents who always offer unwavering support and encouragement. In closing, I just want to say how fortunate we are to have an organization like Legal Aid to provide our community with the support it needs to combat injustice and to help people rise up out of poverty. And we are so fortunate to have the individuals who bring their talent and expertise to the organization. May we all continue to work together and help make our world a better, more equitable place for everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations, Maxim. And good evening, everybody. My name is Patricia Vargas Vegas, and I am the Pro Bono Coordinator for Southeastern Ohio Legal Services. 2020 has been a difficult year for everybody. During these challenging times, when most of us are feeling overwhelmed and preoccupied with our health, our families, and our jobs, this year honorees, on top of dealing with the same issues we all are, have dedicated extra time and efforts to assist our clients. This year's Expanding Our Impact Award recipient, Hannah Botkindori, is one of those remarkable lawyers. Hannah graduated from Capital University Law School in 2013. During law school, she volunteered in various legal clinics and with the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. Following law school, Hannah practiced as an attorney in family, adoption, state planning, guardian ad litem, and LGBT law. After a year working for the Ohio State Bar Association, Hannah began her current position as an unemployment appeals hearing officer for the Unemployment Review Commission. Throughout the pandemic, Hannah has worked incredibly hard to assist with our virtual advice clinics, especially those serving our clients living in rural communities in Central and Southeast Ohio. Hannah truly understands the importance of helping others. She's always willing to assist our clients and to provide professional and quality advice to all, particularly during these difficult times. As Hannah explains it, COVID has put into sharp perspective just how precarious so many of our friends and neighbors are to needing legal help. Even if I can only give my time by phone or by email, I can still be a part of providing peace of mind for someone who may not otherwise be able to access the legal system. One client to whom Hannah recently provided advice regarding her custody case reported that Hannah was kind, compassionate, and very helpful. She was able to put herself in my shoes and help me calm down. Because the need for volunteer lawyers with experience in domestic relations has increased significantly, Hannah has been key in ensuring that we are able to serve every client in need of family law advice. We feel fortunate to have passionate and hardworking attorneys like Hannah. Her service has and will continue to make a lasting impact in our communities. Thank you, Hannah, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you. I really appreciate the kind words that you said and the opportunity to speak at this time. My mother and my father always taught me that your time and talents were given to you in order to serve others. So I always saw the practice of law as a calling and as an opportunity to be able to give back. The best thing I can say about legal aid is it gives you an opportunity to find that part of the law that allows you to help others. We all went to law school to help others, and this has been a great opportunity for me to do that. I want to thank Diana for continuing to lead in a way that I have such grace and poise and such Sisyphean odds against her. I just feel like there is such a opportunity for all of us to follow her example and to be a part of the change that we want to see. If I can say anything to the attorneys watching this, please give an hour or two of your time a week to someone who couldn't otherwise move forward without you, and be a part of providing peace of mind for families and for parents and kids who need our support so desperately. I appreciate this award. I did not anticipate this award, but it will only help me strive to continue to help others. Patricia, thank you. So many emails between us. I honestly, I'm thrilled to accept this award from you, and I look forward to continuing to work together in future clinics. Have a great one, you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, Hannah. Our last award winner, the recipient of this year's Award for Extraordinary Service by an Individual, has been volunteering weekly with our program for nearly 10 years. And despite that incredible track record, he still had the audacity to tell me that he didn't think that he deserved an award. Well, I strongly disagree, which is why I am so pleased to honor Kevin Duffy for his many years of service to the Volunteer Resource Center at Legal Aid. Kevin grew up in Cleveland. He attended Cuyahoga Community College and was in its first graduating class. He received his bachelor's degree from The Ohio State University and his law degree from Cleveland State. He is no stranger to legal services. While in law school, he worked at Cleveland Legal Aid, representing clients under a legal intern certificate. He served in the U.S. Army from 1969 to 71 and worked as an assistant Ohio Attorney General for 7 years. Then, after 4 years with the Michigan utility, he moved to American Electric Power, where he spent 27 years, ultimately as head of the company's Regulatory Services Legal Group. He retired from AEP in 2010. Kevin didn't allow himself much downtime, and in 2011 joined our Volunteer Resource Center, a fledgling group of retired lawyers and paralegals who committed to come to our then brick and mortar office to run our pro bono referral program once per week each, interviewing and referring tenants facing eviction and low-income consumers. He has been such a consistent presence in the VRC for so many years. None of us really knows the VRC without Kevin, with the exception of a few weeks during the winter when he abandons us for warmer weather. In addition to the patience and respect that he has with each client he calls, I've enjoyed getting to know Kevin at our monthly volunteer check-in lunches, where Kevin kindly yet relentlessly reminds me of the rules that I myself put in place, while also politely holding me to our promises to make changes that improve the program. In the 9 years that I've had with the VRC, I've put them through a lot. In the first year as pro bono coordinator, I created a 30-page VRC volunteer manual. Over time, I would ask them to change passwords, adjust to changes in our case management system, accept SharePoint, succumb to a Lean Six Sigma review by eager OSU business majors, learn new phone systems, and finally embrace Office 365. And I would ask them to adjust to all of this while beginning each shift with multiple voicemails from frightened tenants facing the imminent loss of their homes. Our VRC group has shared a lot of boxed Panera lunches, a lot of laughs about how many blue polo shirts and khaki pants we could pack around one table, and a lot of good stories about grandchildren or trips to sunnier spaces. We have signed a lot of get well cards for those who land on the injured roster for surgery or unanticipated ailments. And we've shared grief at our losses, including the passing of VRC co-founder Bert Cram last year. And through all of that, Kevin stayed with us, which in and of itself is remarkable. But it wasn't until COVID hit and we were forced to send all of our volunteers home with a cautious hope that they would be able to shift to an entirely virtual setup that I had real concerns about the VRC's ability to adapt to yet another change. And although Kevin is the first person to make a self-deprecating joke about his hate-hate relationship with technology, he stayed with us. Through yet another round of process modifications, new systems, and even more complex legal challenges facing the people he's speaking to, he stayed, patiently listening to tenants at their most vulnerable moments and still moving towards the crisis, not away from it. Kevin Duffy, please accept this year's award for extraordinary pro bono service by an individual.
Thanks, Diana. And thanks to the CBA, the CBF, and Legal Aid for this award. And thanks for the goodie bag in addition to that. I'm sure that most of you on this call have some familiarity with the great work that Diana provides year in and year out, but I want to put my perspective on it. At my age, it's a little odd to refer to a young person as a mentor, but that's exactly what Diana has been to me. Nowadays, I can't just walk into her office for guidance like I used to, a privilege that I exercise very frequently. Poor Diana, I'm sure, had to devise increasingly complex strategies for hiding from me. But I'm really in awe of all of the in-house legal staff and the staff in general at Legal Aid that I work with on a day-to-day basis. There's Melissa Benson routinely doing amazing things, like bringing home her very helpful appellate decision in the Wimberley case. There's Kayla and Tracy, who people have heard from tonight. There's our IT guru, Mike Means, for whom there is no stupid question. Now, we all know that's patently false, but somehow Mike lets you feel like it's true. Now, compared to these rock stars, my contribution is minimal. But I think that collectively, the VRC provides a worthwhile service. We were formed in 2011 to fill a void caused by Legal Aid's financial inability to staff their clinic at eviction court. And for years, we interviewed clients, screened cases, and matched up clients with volunteers from the legal community. More recently, because of new funding sources developed by Legal Aid leadership and others, it's enabled TAP, which provides for a substantial in-house and volunteer presence at eviction court, so sorely needed in these trying times. So we do what we can at this point to help TAP, including interviewing clients, trying to broadly identify legal offenses and client needs. It's been a very fulfilling job for me. You know, it always impresses me that the clients that we talk to, despite the fact that they're going through a very traumatic time in their lives, and despite the fact that often there's the help that we can offer them is somewhat limited, almost unanimously are very appreciative of our help. So for that and other reasons, I plan to do this for as long as I am able and wanted. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Kathleen Trafford, and I'm the current president of the Columbus Bar Foundation. And on behalf of the association and the foundation, I want to thank everyone who's joined us tonight in this celebration. Unfortunately, we couldn't all be together, but that was no reason not to come together virtually to celebrate the accomplishments of these wonderful award recipients. You know, access to justice can be hard work in the best of times, and these certainly haven't been the best of times, which makes what these recipients have done all the more remarkable. So thank you to them. Thank you to all the folks at Legal Aid. Thank you for not putting justice on hold just because things got very difficult. Thank you for not saying it was just too hard. Thank you for being creative. You truly are the first responders when it comes to giving aid to all those people who have lost their jobs, their homes, who have lost hope in these very difficult times. You're a true inspiration to all of us. And in addition to saying thank you, let us make a commitment to you that your inspiration will be carried forward so that we can all renew our commitment to making sure that there is justice for all, even in these difficult times, and hopefully even in the times when we're behind this and we're in the good times. We should never, never let our commitment wane. So thank you for joining us. Certainly be safe out there, wear your masks, wash your hands, and stay safe so next year we can all be together again. Good night.